So you're considering or planning a virtual wedding. And the question is, how do you make your virtual wedding special? Today, we're continuing our virtual wedding series and talking about another way to make your virtual wedding special with your other events. Hi there, I'm Jamie Chang, your destination wedding planning guru and designer of joy at Mangome's Events, the creator of Passport to Joy, the step-by-step online wedding planning course for couples, and now the founder of Let's I Do This, virtual weddings in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I share real and honest and useful wedding planning tips, tricks, and advice you can use to help make planning your wedding easier and more joyful so you can create a wedding you love. Because let's be honest, wedding planning isn't always very happy. In fact, it can be super duper stressful, especially now. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So we're bringing the joy back to wedding planning. Are you ready? Let's do this. Now we are continuing our virtual wedding series today because virtual weddings are different, but that doesn't mean that they should be any less special than any other wedding. They should be, and they can be. If you haven't checked out our other videos about virtual weddings, please make sure you do because we talk about a lot of different ways to make it special. And make sure you hit subscribe so you can get all the new ones. But today we are talking about another way to make your virtual wedding special, and that's with things outside the wedding. Or in other words, your other events. Now, if you think about a wedding day, the things that are included in a wedding day are things like, getting ready and spending time with family and your wedding party. And then, the wedding itself. There's the ceremony, the dinner and dancing. And obviously, I'm talking generally, of course, here. But the sort of pieces that are, normal parts of a wedding. But your wedding actually goes beyond your wedding day, if you think about it, right? There's both the pre-wedding events and all the post-wedding events. And those are what also makes your wedding special, and in turn, what makes your virtual wedding special. Now, we talked about some of these things in our other videos, but I really wanted to dedicate a whole video to just this because these are really special moments. They're typically very intimate and they allow you to spend time and connect with people and celebrate in just a different way than your wedding. And so I want to talk through just a few examples and how you can use these other events and create these other events just virtually. Now, before we sort of dive into that, please know that you do not have to have these events. They're not required. And just like any other wedding, you don't have to do them. And you definitely don't have to do all of them. You have to make a decision for what's right for you and, what feels good. But I will say that they are another opportunity to connect with your loved ones and spend time together in a fun way. So whether or not you want to do these is totally your call, but I would think about it at the very least, okay? All right, so let's dive in and let's start at sort of the beginning, and that's your engagement party. Now, obviously not everybody has an engagement party, and it's not for everyone, once again, but it's a good way to sort of connect your friends and family and allow them to get to know each other. Now, if you've been sort of planning for a long time and you're now doing a virtual wedding, this may not necessarily make a whole lot of sense, or say you already had an engagement party. But if your wedding was, say postponed for a year, it might not be a bad idea. Also, obviously, if you're newly engaged, an engagement party would be a great way to kick everything off. Once again, it's a chance to sort of celebrate your engagement and allow your family and your friends to connect, to meet each other, especially if they've never met before. It's fun and it can be really, really just a good chance to spend time with people. Now, you can do a virtual dinner party, you can do a virtual cocktail party, you can have games, you can do a game night, you can dress up and do some, murder mystery event or something of that nature. And these are just a few ideas. You want to make sure you pick something that you think is fun and that you think your guests will enjoy and, make it your own. And all of these ideas really, in all honesty, are just sort of ideas that I'm going to be throwing out at you. But think about what's, fun for you and see how you can play that into your event. All right, so that's the engagement party. Then comes, say, the wedding shower or the bridal shower. Now, once again, not every bride or couple cares about this event or wants this event. But if you do, you can obviously play traditional games, although maybe not, toilet paper dresses, because toilet paper is a hot commodity here. But you can have a tea party or a brunch or, once again, a game night or a trivia night or even, and I think this could be really fun, is some sort of like physical challenge, obstacle kind of game. That could be really interesting and fun, especially if you're doing sort of a co-ed wedding shower. Or you could just, gather and talk and have a drink and spend time together. All right, next up, bachelor and bachelorette parties. Now, while of all the options, this one might not be quite as effective as sort of something in person, especially if the plan is to get really drunk and go see strippers. Not really a whole lot of online versions of that are fun and comfortable. But if say that was never your thing, you were never going to go see strippers or whatever, which I think for a lot of people is not necessarily their thing, you could do something else. That could be, a mixology class together or a cooking class, or maybe you do a virtual spa day, or maybe it's just playing drinking games or video games or online poker or something like that. Maybe it's golfing, which actually is allowed in a lot of places now. So that could be an opportunity for an activity to spend together and do something fun. All right, so let's move on to the rehearsal dinner. Now, this is a really great opportunity to connect with family. And, a virtual dinner party obviously makes perfect sense here, but you could also do, lunch, brunch, cocktails. You could do some fun games that allow, once again, people to get to know each other and spend time together and share stories. Okay, and then after the wedding, right, there's typically a day after brunch. And once again, not everybody does this, but once again, it's a chance or an opportunity for you to hang out with family and with friends and actually talk about the wedding, which in my family is very fun. May not be for yours, but that could be a fun way to get together. It's also something you could do before the wedding, and you can do it with, maybe it's a small group of friends, or it's your cousins, or it's, your siblings, or it's your wedding party, or maybe it's just with your mom. I also want to talk about destination weddings, because with destination weddings, there are usually even more events that are a part of the experience. And you can throw those into here as well. You can kind of riff off of those as well to sort of think about how you want to do these other events and the kinds of things you want to do in these other events. So some ideas, you could do a movie night or a virtual class of some sort, or maybe if you want to do something more active, you can go on a hike or take a trip to the beach and then share the photos you all take when you're there. You could even take it one step further and maybe do some sort of, scavenger hunt where you go on this excursion outside individually and you're looking for certain things and then you come back together, text each other. I mean, you can kind of tweak this to how it works for you, but it could be fun, to do something of that nature where you're doing things separately but also together. Now, there are so many fun ways to, connect with your loved ones and connect with them outside of the actual wedding day. And, like with any wedding, they're just great ways to spend time together. So figure out, what makes sense for you, what events make sense for you, and how you want to make it fun and special and a good time. Because that's really what this is about. It's sort of celebrating this special moment and celebrating that with the people you love. So figure out what makes sense for you and go for it. And this is also a great opportunity to get some help from the pros, which is what we talked about in our last video. So make sure you check that out if you haven't. But they can really help make that event just super special with products or services. So consider using the pros as well for some of these virtual events outside of the wedding. And by the way, if you didn't hear, we just launched recently a virtual wedding service called Let's I Do This. And if you're interested in learning more, you can check out the link below. Because, you deserve to have an amazing wedding, even if it's virtual. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up today's video with a question. And the question is, what other event do you want to include in your virtual wedding? Let me know in a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like it. Give us some thumbs up. You can check out our other videos for even more wedding planning tips and learn more about virtual weddings. And please hit subscribe so you can get access to all the new ones. And as always, if you're looking for help through the entire wedding planning process, please check out my online course, Passport to Joy. You can find the links below. Because you deserve to enjoy your engagement, no matter what your budget is, and even in the middle of a pandemic. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!